Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. Next one comes from Swampy. His email address is g'day.
So maybe he's from Australia.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Swampy.
G'day lads, Swampy here from Down Under. To kick it off, a big thanks for DJM Jam. It's a ripper, fellas. I crank it up during my lunch breaks at work when I practice my putting in the underground car park. So, question.
Okay, just to explain, he's talking about the GBO Jam. That's, of course, the Disc Golf Answer Man Spotify playlist, where if you enjoy the music that we put in our videos and our podcast from time to time, you'll like that style of music. If you need something to listen to while you're putting, while you're working out, while you're painting, while you're playing,
While you're listening to Disc Golf Answer Man.
Yeah, while you're listening to, you can pull up that playlist on Spotify. It's just the GBO Jam, DJM Jam, and I have someone who's replicating it on Apple Music, so you should be able to find it there as well. All right, let's go to what he has to ask.
The group of turkeys I play with had the absolute honour last year of hosting a side event during the Australian Nationals. So can you go around the table and recall the best and worst things you guys have experienced during a tourney? Whether it's something a TD put in place to the choice of paper cups available for you to have your drink in, whatever. Cheers, lads. Happy throwing.
Nice.
The worst thing?
Worst thing?
Well, you said the best and the worst.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the best.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to sound biased, but so be it. Don't care. GBO with the GBO app.
The app.
Best thing I've ever experienced at a tournament, hands down. When was it? Last year we had some bad weather delays. I kept getting notifications because they would push out notifications to the players. It blows my mind that nobody's caught on to this and tried to do it or also replicated it because it's amazing. And you can get on there and ask questions. And if you haven't downloaded the app, I highly recommend downloading it. Even if you're not coming to the event,
Yeah, to check it out.
I still recommend downloading and checking it out. And if you are coming to the event, you have to download this app. It is so amazing. That's my best.
Yeah.
Give me a minute to think about the worst.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'd say the best isn't particular to one event, and it's not even about an event so much, but the implementation of UDisc Live and keeping stats at events.
Yep.
I think that's so cool.
Another app.
Again, yeah, definitely. If you don't have UDisc already, get it. Get the paid version. Support Matt and Josh. They are the real MVPs, some real bros. But it's just so cool to get to watch the stats on there to keep up with those. It keeps up with your stats when you play rounds with your buddies. So any event that has that, I'm always excited to see that because it just adds another layer of depth to your understanding of the tournament. Instead of just looking at a number at the end of the round, you can see how that person got to that number.
You can see how bad you played to get to that.
Yeah, you can go and recount all your sadness from the shots that you missed. What do you think, Bobby?
So the best thing in disc golf or best thing at a tournament?
At a tournament.
Best thing you've seen at a tournament.
I don't know if it's the best thing, but I think it's a really cool thing. And I know it's Disc Golf Pro Tour wasn't the first, I don't think, before, but the big scoreboard with everybody's name.
That is
and the
cool.
score,
Yeah.
I just think that's really cool. I think it adds a presence at hole one. I think people that are walking by kind of wonder what's going on.
USDGC did this a few years back before the Pro Tour was around. I remember seeing that one there and thought it was pretty cool. Coming up the 18th green and thinking, what am I at? And then looking up at the board and seeing, where I was placing and what I needed to do on the final hole and that kind of thing.
And
that is cool.
Being at events, I've walked by and happened to look up just to kind of see what's going on or where people are at. And I think it's kind of neat. Just adds another level to it. All right, now the worst thing.
The worst thing.
I don't like being negative, but this is what's the worst thing.
I don't want to call anybody out, obviously, on events or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
Dave. Oh, what? I'm just kidding.
Dave. Yeah,
I'm kidding.
Dave's
I totally
not here.
made that up.
Honestly, just not being prepared, I think, is the biggest thing. Not being prepared for the event, meaning having all the OB marked, having the caddies book complete, or at least a print off somewhere online. Just minor things, really. It's It's having everything written down and creating a checklist and marking off everything as you go. So at the end of the week or the beginning of the tournament week, you can kind of reference that and know that everything's done. I don't have to worry about anything. I didn't forget anything. Even the small minor details, just the very, very small things. Just make sure all that's written down somewhere and you can kind of check it all off. And I guess that's more advice on how to run a quality event, not really something negative.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I can't think of anything. I mean, sure, there's things, but I mean, I'm not going to call anybody out either.
Right.
So.
But I'll agree with you on that. Like, the more prepared that you are, the better things go, period. I don't think it's possible to be over prepared for a tournament.
Correct.
And I'd say the worst ones for me, or the ones that I remember the most, aren't like anything particularly bad happened during the tournament. It's just when you get to the end and it takes 2 hours to do payout.
Right. Yes.
Payout, if you can just organize it ahead of time and input scores directly into the score reporting system on the PDGA.
This day and age.
Instead of just writing them by hand and then filing them. Don't do that. Just input them straight in. It's a lot easier.
Upload it, get the scores in quick.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd say between rounds, getting to see where your round was rated during lunch, I think that's really cool.
Or not even just where it's rated, but where you're sitting.
Yeah, all
how
that,
far back you are, how big of a lead you got, that kind of thing. It's
for sure.
Super important.
So yeah, check that stuff. And I mean, just the quicker you can do that, the better. 30 to 40 minutes for payout is, pretty reasonable from the time that cards start coming in, because you should be doing it as cards come in instead of waiting for every card to come in before you start.
And plug them all into your computer as opposed to doing it on a score point kind of thing.
Exactly.
As far as after the round, it's good to have the score points so you can set those out. But for uploading purposes and all that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do that. What do you think, Bobby? Not having coverage of events. Is that what you're going to say?
No. I only think about videos.
That was Bobby.
It's funny because
I thought it was Bobby.
How do I
do that without moving
throw
his
your
lips?
voice?
It sounded just like me from over there.
I'm trying to think of from my perspective what I have seen that's been, but I can't. I mean,
it's hard. I mean,
I can't. Again, I don't want to call any out, but I've seen where T pads aren't up to par.
Yeah.
No pun intended. There's been times where I've been at a place where it's like very hot and
water
is
that's
not.
rough.
Yeah.
Water is scarce.
Even when it's not that hot, but you're thinking, it
doesn't matter how hot it is. You got to have water on the course, period.
So, things like that. So